What's up everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be going over the Junior Security Analyst intro from Try Hack Me. It's part of the SOC Level 1 Pathway. It's an introductory course into becoming more of a blue teamer. This room specifically will only go over what a security analyst is at a junior level or a tier 1 SOC analyst, another title for them. It won't go over any tools, it really won't go over any techniques. This is just to give you a brief idea of who they are and what they do compared to other tier levels of SOC analysts. There's tier 2, there's tier 3, and then there's the team lead. And that's basically what we'll be going over today together. Let's get into it. Okay, so as we can see here, a career as a junior associate security analyst. I guess associate would be like the more actual professional term, and maybe junior is just like an optional to understand. Anyways, in the junior security analyst role, you will be a triage specialist. So a triager is someone that basically goes over tickets and looks at them and analyzes them and see what's going on to see if they can remediate them, document them, report on them, or escalate them. You will spend a lot of time triaging or monitoring the event logs and alerts. The responsibilities for a junior security analyst of tier 1 is monitor and investigate the alerts. Most of the time it's a 24/7 SOC operations environment, which is very interesting because while I was looking at some job applications for it, there are a lot or a decent amount of night shift positions open, which was pretty surprising to me, but it makes sense because a lot of the red teaming stuff, a lot of other positions in tech are daytime. But it would make sense that a lot of the threat actors are like in other countries like China where it's daytime for them and nighttime for us. So we can't be asleep and getting attacked. Another thing is configure and manage the security tools, develop and implement basic IDS, signatures, intrusion detection systems, participate in SOC working groups and meetings, which makes sense, create tickets and escalate the security incidents to the tier 2 and team lead if needed. So as we can see, it definitely is like a very more of a basic rundown right here, nothing too big to understand. It does also mention required qualifications in order to kind of be a SOC analyst. Right here it says you need about anywhere from 0 to 2 years of experience with security operations, which means I guess if you have no experience, you can still kind of get a security analyst role. I guess as long as you have the proper training or the company wants to take a chance on you. Basic understanding of the OSI model, TCP model, operating system, web applications, and basic stuff that you will learn with your Network Plus for the most part. Scripting and programming skills are a plus. They always are. Python, Bash, PowerShell, stuff like that. The CompTIA Security Plus is desired. Makes sense. And then here we get to a pretty nice rundown of the difference between tier levels and what they do and then their proper like titles. So tier 1 will be a triager, tier 2 will be an incident responder, and tier 3 is a threat hunter. As a triager, you monitor the network, traffic logs, and events, work on the tickets, close the alerts, perform basic investigations and mitigations. Tier 2 incident responder focuses on deeper investigations and analysis and remediations, proactively hunts for adversaries, monitors and resolves more complex alerts. So very similar to like tier 1, but I guess it's the more hard to understand, the more complex attack, the more complex threat actors, maybe a little bit more codings involved, a little bit more configurations involved with tier 2. And then we get here to tier 3, a security operations analyst, tier 3 threat hunter, works on more advanced investigations, probably like big projects that only they can handle, that only they have clearance for, performs advanced threat hunting and adversary research, malware reversing. This is definitely more on the coding side by the sounds of it. There's malware reversing. You're probably using tools, I think like, I forgot the name. It's not like Hydra, it's like Dragon. Not Dragon, but I can't remember, but it's one for malware analysis. And here the first question we're given, what will be your role as a junior security analyst? Well, triage specialist. Triage. I cannot spell sometimes. Triage specialist. Bam. Well, we just finished the first question. Pretty simple stuff. Pretty nice rundown. Let's continue. So a SOC. What exactly is a SOC? A security operations center to investigate, monitor, and prevent and respond to threats in the cyber realm 24/7 or around the clock, according to McAfee's definition of a SOC. Security operations are charged with monitoring and protecting assets. You guys get the idea. Business systems, all that, make sure it's all secure, make sure nothing's going on. Okay, we move on. I like this one better right here. It says the SOC operations center is ticketing, log collection, knowledge base, research and development, aggregation and correlation, threat intelligence, a SIM, and reporting. This is basically everything that goes into a SOC. And you can be doing, I'm sure, many of these things to all of them at different levels of complexity. And then it says preparations and prevention as a junior security analyst. I'll let you guys read about this. It just talks about where you can go and stay up to date, monitoring. It just gives you a big idea of SIMs and EDR, endpoint detection response tools. Just a brief overview of what you can expect to use as a SOC analyst and the idea of how you'll have to prioritize certain tickets. And it talks about it here: low, medium, high, and critical. Of course, go for the highest. And it's just a brief what questions you'll be asking, how, when, and why. I would just read over this maybe once or twice just to get a brief idea of what a SOC analyst is doing at the very basic level. I already did it, so continue. Your answer is correct. And then right here is kind of like the more exciting stuff. A day in the life of a junior associate security analyst. To understand the job rules and job responsibilities, we'll show you the day of a SOC analyst, exciting career journey. You guys go ahead and read through this for me. I don't want to waste your time too much. Let's go ahead and get to the lab. Basically, the lab is going to show us a SIM and then some log alerts. And you got to figure out which one's iffy. Click on it, block it, escalate it, remediate it. Let's get into it. So here we go. Inspect the alerts in your SIM dashboard. Find the malicious IP address from the alerts, make note of it, and then click on the alert to proceed. So I already kind of did this before. We'll click on it. Here's a SIM. It's pretty cool, very basic, SIM, whatever, operations information, security suspicious, and then the red one, security attacks. It tells you where they're coming from. You got like a little bounce and does anything. Oh, it does. I guess it just goes back and forth. Alert log, the date and time that these alerts were sent to the SIM, the messages, successful SSH authentication attempt to port 22 from my IP address here. And it kind of does it for you. It puts it in red so you kind of know like this is unauthorized, and then it shows this one. They're all green though, so make note of the IP address that's unauthorized to connect. So you make note of it. I already made note of it. You click on it, and here it talks about how there's websites where you can run these IP addresses to see if they're already flagged as malicious or not. It's a lot of open source information, a lot of open source tooling that seems to be going into this type of job by the looks of it. I think tech as a whole is a lot of open source tools made by great people, great programmers. So let's right here put the IP address to see if this scanner can tell us what it thinks about it. And here it explains what I just said. There are many open source databases out there like Abuse IPDB, Cisco Talos Intelligence, where you can perform a reputation and location check for that IP address. Most security analysts use these tools to aid them with alert investigations. You can also make the internet safer by reporting the malicious IP, for example, on Abuse IPDB. Now that we know the IP address is malicious, we need to escalate it to a staff member. So it sounds like a triager doesn't have the right permissions to just block it immediately. I would have thought that, so that's kind of interesting to me. I guess level 1 is only allowed to write a report on it, what you think about it, and then send it off, and they verify your findings, and then they give you like okay. And here we can see what the scanner's bringing us back from public databases. Was found on confidence of it being malicious, 100% malicious. It's coming from China, basically. Next, we shouldn't worry too much if it was a failed authentication attempt, but since it was successful, we got this clear small incident event and escalated. There is some great staff working at the company, but you wouldn't want to escalate this to the wrong person who's in charge of your team or department. So obviously, sales executive, no. Obviously, security consultant, no. Information security architect, no. SOC team lead, yes. And one thing I did kind of mess up here, we could have answered the question, then done it. It depends how you want to do it. I like to kind of go along with it, but I kind of forgot. So real quick, we put the IP, what's the malicious IP address in the alerts, real quick. There we go. And then we're basically here. We can go together hand in hand. To whom did you escalate the event associated with a malicious IP address? Well, we can see as the SOC team lead, Will Griffin. And we put his name here, bam, as don't cheat and if you don't know. Because I think if someone doesn't really have rushed through this, you might accidentally say, well, the security consultant or the security architect, but it's Will Griffiths. And then we're given the permission to block the malicious IP address, and we implement it to the firewall, the block list. So we add it again, and we block the IP address, and bam, they try to hack me code right there. We add it, and there we go. As you can see, it's a very basic understanding of what a junior SOC analyst is. A lot of the fun things are the labs to me, and that we'll go over later on together. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys like this quick little rundown of the junior security analyst intro. Make sure to subscribe and comment what you think about this. If you're planning on becoming a SOC level 1 soon, and if you have taken this class or this pathway, what did you think about it? And yeah, that's about it. Peace.